Hello everybody, this is November 1st, 2017. I am making this video from Sonoma County, California. We just experienced massive wildfires that took out wide swaths of residential and wild areas and business areas in many counties, but Sonoma County was hit in a big way. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about this fire being so massive that a lot of people haven't seen. A lot of the firefighters, it's been like nothing they've ever seen, and I have to agree, it's impressive. But one of the things that struck my attention more than anything else has been this really interesting situation where we have a vehicle that has seemingly been completely burnt out and has landed in the middle or just to the west of the middle of Coffey Park. This is a four-seater gasoline car that has landed about 160 feet from the closest road in the middle of the lawn here in the park. So this vehicle has been completely burnt out and has landed here. And I went there with a buddy of mine to check out what had happened, and this is the analysis that we've come up with so far. Let's see here. So here's Coffey Park. First of all, I would like to, my heart goes out to anyone who's lost a family member, a pet, and anyone who's lost their home here. There's been a lot of devastation, so big love to everyone. Hold strong. We'll get through this as best we can. Been very impressed with all the support that the community has come out with to assist everyone, and keep doing it. Much appreciation to all the firefighters and the police officers too, who have done their best to mitigate the massive loss here. So as we look at this situation, the car that I just showed you is just to the left of this hand, right in this area right here. You can actually still see in this drone footage, which was posted on October 21st, that the vehicle is still right here. Now, you can see in this photo this green car and these two trees is right here. This tree and this green car are in this photo taken from where this hand is, looking this way. Now, when we went there yesterday to look at this spot to make sure this was real, and by the way, it's a friend of ours who took this photo, but even another friend of mine was second guessing it, saying it was maybe Photoshop. And you know, I understand why, because it's a pretty ridiculous. There's a better resolution version of it. It's a pretty ridiculous situation to see a burnt out car in the middle of a field. So we went over there and we went ahead and measured it. We brought 100-foot construction tape. We measured it. It's 160 feet to this road. It's 340 feet to the parking area, as you can only park on the right side of the road to the east of the park. And it's about 300 feet down to the south of the park and about 300 feet to the north of the park. So an examination of how this car could have possibly got here, we looked at some of the possibilities. These pathways right here are not for vehicles. These are walking paths for people to jog and walk their dog and rollerblade and all that jazz. So, and there's also no massive burn marks here. It doesn't seem like someone drove it out there while it was burning and then all of a sudden got squished. So we have to look at the evidence. What we have is quite the puzzle, because we have had reports of fire tornadoes, and I've just never heard of a fire tornado doing this kind of work where you're tossing I don't know, 2 or 3 ton vehicle, probably 2-ton vehicle, this far from where it initially was standing. So, you know, looking at this area right here, this seems to be the most likely area because it's the closest, right? But there's not any burn marks in here, and there's little wood pylons that are on the side, little like barriers to keep people from driving cars even onto the park that are right here, and those aren't burnt. There is a burnt trash can right here, but that just could have been from something that fell in it. There's no major burn marks right here. And similarly, there's no major burn marks here where there isn't a car that's sitting on top of it. So what's really interesting though is we drove all through here, and the vehicles that we found that were flipped over were actually very few and far between. We found one that was up in either on this road or on this road that looked like it had just literally, maybe the gas tank blew up and it flipped over. It looked like it just flipped over and was parked right in front of where it initially was. But then we drove all through here, and we're not seeing a lot of gas tanks that have exploded, or we saw a few hybrids, and none of them were flipped over, because I've heard the batteries can explode and flip them over. But when we get to this area right here in the southwest of Coffee Park, we have 4 vehicles that are flipped over. We have one right here, we have one right here, one right here, and one right here. This vehicle is upside up, sitting in, I guess, the driveway, or maybe it was a garage. So what I'm thinking happened is that we had a massive fire tornado whip right through the southwest of Coffee Park in a clockwise pattern, flips over this car, levels these trees, because you can see they're laying pointing northeast, going in a clockwise pattern, flips over these cars. You can see in this picture there's a piece of garage door up in this tree, and if you on the ground you can see there's a piece of sheet metal wrapped around this tree as well. And I'm guessing that this vehicle most likely has come from this burn spot, unless it's possibly this vehicle that was right there that burned and flew over. I think this one was right here, got tossed there. I think this one was, I can't tell because you can't see a burn mark. There's so much charred right here. But I'm guessing that this vehicle came all the way from about 300 feet away from this spot. Really puzzling. Totally wild force of nature to create that kind of force to move several thousand pounds of metal into the air and toss it into the middle of the park. But this is about the best conclusion I can come to. Here's some video that I did of the actual spot.
This is the spot where the car was, looking north. This is a walking path right here.
Let's play it from here.
This is the spot where the car was, looking north. This is a walking path right here. Picnic benches. The nearest road is, we'll measure it in a little bit. It looks like it's about 150 feet.
And to be in 160.
Seemingly nearly undamaged playground, which is outstanding. So
now, backing this up just a little bit, I think they probably towed the car out right here. As we were walking around from a different angle, it looked like there was probably, this is where the tow truck came in to move the vehicle. But I'll play this a little bit more.
So here's where the vehicle landed. You can see there's little bits of glass and metal. And I'm trying to even see where the tow truck came in. I'm guessing the tow truck came in right here. As you can see where there was some...
No, I don't think that's the case. This is too thin for tire marks. I just don't think that's the case anymore after we saw the other spot where we thought it came in. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that spot from the ground that we went and measured from. And let's see what else we got here for you. This is the spot where the car was. I'm pointing it out. What do we got here?
Okay, so at the location where the vehicle was, just looking at the trees to see how much leaves is still on them. Just trying to gauge what kind of wind would have maybe like tumbled the vehicle over here. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like the leaves still on the trees here indicate that it was not so windy that it would have tumbled the vehicle. There's not also massive gouges coming from different directions. Seems like it came from straight up.
Okay, so I've lived through hurricanes. I've seen what kind of devastation high winds can do to trees. It just strips them of every leaf on them. So I don't think the wind was actually super severe here. I've heard of gusts between 70 and 90 miles an hour, but I think that the wind was not severe here, and the vehicle did literally just land from the sky. What a trip. Here's a picture of the vehicle as it's sitting in the southwest part of the park after the cleanup. If anyone can help identify this, it'd be great. It's got two different style of rims on it. One's aluminum, 5 lug. I don't know if anyone can look closely at this and identify this assembly and have it be unique to a car. The gas tank is on the right side. It appears to be a 4-seater. It appears to have, it's got an aluminum head that's about halfway melted, and appears to be a 16-valve 4-cylinder engine. Let's see. Any last notes here? Oh yeah, this is looking at the ass end of the vehicle. And by the way, at this point, the vehicle is right side up. I'm looking at this emblem and what it looks like to me, because it's about 3 inches wide, maybe 3.5 inches wide. The only emblem I know that looks like this is it's a Honda emblem, and not the traditional little ones that's on a Civic, where it's just the chrome that's overlaid over the paint, but more of a larger solid emblem, which I've seen on Honda CRVs. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not thinking outside of the box. Maybe there's a few more that are somehow used that kind of a logo that's that big, 3.5 inches by 3 inches. However, all the Honda CRVs I've looked at are they have gas tanks. Their gas tank is on the left side, so I might have to do a little more research on that. Anyway, here's another picture of the garage door that's up in the tree, which you can see from you can see, wow, there's too many pictures open. You can see it right here in this picture, and here's a picture of these vehicles, which have been tossed around, as you can see in the aerial, but I wanted to give you a ground shot so you can see what's up. And this is looking slightly northeast. This is the park right here. I think what happened is the wind whirl, the fire whirl came through here, lifted that car off and plopped it down there. Okay, that's my 2 cents, friends. Stay safe, take care of each other, and my prayers go out to everyone who's in the middle of the recovery. Be well.